Hey everybody, welcome back to the Splatoon 2 playthrough. Yeah, so after beating the Octo Oven, yeah, that's a thing that exists. Uh,
425 degrees of dead.
of death. Yeah. So,
Pre-baked or
yeah, so now now that we've beaten the Octo Oven, we can upgrade our weapons, and so that will make the splatter shot, like, actually usable, which is good. But there's no real reason to do it right away, because I'm doing it right away.
you're gonna start using all but you're gonna start using all the other weapons first.
Yeah, so like I think the only stage in stage 2 in the second world I can think of that actually needs the I can't even upgrade anything anyway, and I'm not wasting money on bombs, so why bother? But the
Yeah.
only stage in a world 2 I think that you can even use the standard shot on anyway is the Octoling level. So it's again, you don't need to worry about spending your eggs on that at the moment. But oh god, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, here's what I'm saying. Now all of the different hub worlds are different loading zones because I think that the developers saw that speedrun glitch where you could skip. I think it's like World 4 entirely, and they want you to actually play the game. So each world now has its own like warp point instead of like technically all existing in the same realm, which doesn't really change anything, but it's a big middle finger to anybody who was speedrunning the original game and just didn't play an entire world to save like 20 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is really the first world where you actually do have to explore stuff. I should mention that I actually forgot that there was Sardinium in the hub worlds to find until like World 4. So you're not going to see me get that.
So you're gonna have to go back to go get them.
Yeah. But here's also where the structure of the game starts to change, because now once you start a level, unless if you're doing the Octoling level, nearly every level has a Sheldon request. And what that basically means is that... No, damn it! You need to get...
Get my balloon, Spider-Man!
Hold on, I need to get my accordion music while I go deliver some pizza as an inkling. Yeah, so pretty much every weapon, every level, aside from the Octoling levels, has these Sheldon requests, which means that you have to play a level pretty much with the weapon that the game tells you to play with it. Which, on one hand, makes those levels good for tutorial purposes. It's like, okay, this is how you should use a charger. This is how you should use the splatling, so on and so forth. Which I do think is good, because the single player for these kinds of games essentially should be a teaching ground for the basics of the multiplayer. So I think, which is the real meat of this game anyway. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like the real reason why you're playing.
Yeah, I'm fine with it in theory. It's just, part of me wishes that I could play the levels with whatever weapons I have unlocked, or that there was more variety in levels, or well, maybe like more levels that were shorter. I guess if that makes sense. Like there's I think like 8 or so levels in every world, and almost every one of them requires that you use a specific weapon. What I would rather have is, like, say, 15 shorter levels in every world, and maybe half of them require a specific weapon, and the other half don't, so that you can feel like, okay, I like the charger, I'm going to use the charger more for single player on this playthrough or something. Like, again, this isn't a well thought out solution to this problem, because I can imagine the game feeling much longer than it already does if I were to pace it like that, but that's more the point that I'm trying to make is that it's very easy to be like, okay, I don't have much choice in this matter until I get to post-game, where I'm just trying to unlock whatever weapons that I'm trying to unlock, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, having the choice is always nice.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I do like that... Oh, wow, that was a fail. Nobody saw that, right?
Smooth move, Ted.
Yeah, cool. Oh, there is actually a point in the game, I don't think I showed this off, where Marie will be like, okay, make this jump, and if you miss the jump, Marie will say, let's just pretend that didn't happen, and then once you do make the jump, she says, all right, you did it, or something like that, which I thought was pretty funny. Again, the writing in this game is phenomenal, but yeah, I had the idea in my head when I saw the pre-release stuff that I would have more choice in the matter than what I actually did, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
And also,
how do you feel this game does, like, the staggered content release compared to the first game? Would you say it's better?
It needed more. It needed more stages in the start.
Here's the problem. The original game, had the bonus of being a completely new concept. So even though the game launched with 5 stages to start, it was like everybody was still getting used to the controls and the general concept and like the unique weapons and things like that. So everything was new enough to the point where, while yes, only 5 stages was a bit of a bummer at first, it was still new enough that the novelty was enough to keep you going as they were releasing new things. The thing with Splatoon 2 and how it released its content was is that the game came out, and I think there were 8 stages total, and it wasn't until over a month has passed until we gotten our first real new stage. Like, at this point, at the point of this recording...
And that first new stage was a Splatfest only thing.
Yeah, and even... Yeah, so, and at the time of this recording, the only new stage that's in the general lineup is the ship stage Manta Maria, and that's just one new stage, and the game's already been out for 2 months. No, 3 months, actually. Well, we're on our 3rd month right now. You get what I mean. Whereas in Splatoon 2...
That's about 2.5.
Yeah, in Splatoon 2... in Splatoon 1, I should say, I believe Port Mackerel was the first new stage, and that came out within like 2 weeks. And we got new stages very, very quickly, and on top of that, we got new weapons more frequently as well. Like, the Ink Brush came out within a couple of months, and they were releasing brand new variants very, very quickly, and it all felt very new and fresh to overuse the Splatoon's marketing lingo and whatnot.
I would say the game did a very good job of staying fresh.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, to be fair to this game, though, the first game had the benefit of being the first game, so of course it would feel
Yeah,
fresh.
but the thing is that we have gotten content updates with Splatoon 2, but most of the stuff we've gotten is just weapons from the first game again, is the thing. We've, I think, only gotten like maybe 3 or 4 new weapons that are entirely new for Splatoon 2 since the game updated, and again, like, the only new weapon type that we've gotten is the Brella. I think there's only one new type there was only one type of dualies added in the updates, which was basically just, here are dualies with longer range. And it's frustrating because if you're someone like me who played the original Splatoon a lot, I mean, I still love the game and I'm having a lot of fun. But it's a lot of the same old kind of stuff, basically. And I was hoping that by now we would got more.
Which, to me, unfortunately screams what a lot of us were thinking a little bit when they announced Splatoon 2 at all, is that this is probably a rush job by Nintendo to have a big name out there for the Switch early on.
Yeah, I feel like even if they had been able to... Here's the thing, like, this is the kind of game that you want out for the summer, just due to the general vibe that it has going on. But I feel like in development, it probably would have wanted an extra 4 months. I think, just to get more new content out there. Like, granted, they still would have released old weapons from Splatoon 1 as DLC eventually, but, like, I think that they would have wanted to start off with more new stuff. Like, have the Brella in there from day one. Have the, like, there's apparently a weapon hidden in the game's code called the Squeezer, which is like a water bottle where you press the button and it squeezes out ink or something. I actually don't really know how it's supposed to work, but we haven't gotten that. But yeah, it's not quite like it's a weird in between a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and a completely new game, I think, which is weird. It's like, okay,
Mario Kart 8 Deluxer.
A Deluxer. Like, it is enough to be... I do think that there's enough content here for it to feel like a complete sequel, but just barely, you know? Like, I feel like it could have used a lot more to it.
Yeah, it checks a box off of a list, but it doesn't go beyond
Like,
that.
I feel like even just another new mode in the game, like, Salmon Run's great, I love it, but, like, one more mode on top of that,
Like if that rocket mode had been there from the start.
yeah, and
Whatever it is.
yeah, and it's just a new ranked battle mode, which I'm sure everybody would want, you know. And there is room in the games, like, you don't even have to look in the game's code to know that they were planning on putting a new ranked battle mode in there anyway, because
Because there's an empty spot just blatantly sitting there.
yeah, because the game, one thing I do appreciate about this game, this is more of a multiplayer thing, though, is that you're ranked on your individual performance in all the different modes. So you can't get yourself to S rank just by playing Splat Zones. If you're good at Splat Zones, you'll be like a C rank in everything else, but S plus in Splat Zones in that case. Which I do think is cool as well, because it does, when I was playing Splatoon 1, I would only ever play Tower Control when it was ranked. So that's what kept me in. Actually, I never even got to S rank in Splatoon 1. It's much easier to get higher ranks in Splatoon 2. I've also noticed as well, because they changed how the ranking system works. It's a little bit confusing, but once you
But when are you gonna get to triple S sweet smoking style rank?
I believe the highest rank in the... Okay, so actually what happens when you get to S plus is a little bit weird. Instead of just being stuck at S plus, the game keeps track of how many times you fill the experience bar after that. And I think the highest rank is like S plus 50 or some weird shit like that. It's bizarre.
The Super Soaker S plus 50
by Hasbro.
Sweet smoking, super saturated, squiddy
super,
style,
super,
and
super,
Knuckles.
super,
and Knuckles.
and
Yeah.
and Knuckles.
Speaking of soup, did you guys get the Super Soakers with that were shaped like the Splatoon guns?
No.
Oh, me neither.
What would I ever use them for?
To squirt water at people. That's what you do with the squirt gun.
I don't know, you got some sort of wildlife in their backyard at night. Gotta spray him with something. Super Soaker's by your side.
Or, to spray the cat when he's, like, clawing up the couch or something.
I was saying, excuse me, yeah, I mean, eventually when we reach that dreaded apocalypse that Splatoon predicts, I'm pretty sure whatever demonic being that crawls on the floor is going to have some weakness to holy water. So you fill the Super Soaker with holy water.
I don't know, unless it's from, like, Chrono Trigger and it's from space. It's not a demon.
I don't know. Actually, did somebody ever tell Simon Belmont to try that out, though? Like, fill a Super Soaker with holy water?
I don't think Super Soakers were a thing, though.
In the 1600s.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Soma, then. Whatever. Julius.
Yeah, Julius strikes me as a Super Soaker kind of guy. Oh, no. Soma, most likely, with a big-ass fucking goofy grin on his, because he needs something to do with his life.
I mean, he does use a regular handgun, so...
How are you supposed to find that? Oh, my God.
Just walk
What,
off.
No, No, I found the handgun.
Sardinium.
The Sardinium. You have to literally walk... There's no way to see that there. You just have to think, oh, I'm going to walk around.
Well, no, you just look down and check all the corners.
Yeah, but but the thing is that now, once you find that one, you're looking around every single warp pad in the entire game.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Which is frustrating, though, because I don't think that they hide anything else like that, or at least, like, there's dozens of warp pads in the game, and they only hide, like, 2 of them there. It's really, really annoying, because it takes a lot more time in a 3D game to look behind the warp pad, as opposed to in a 2D game where you can just, like, jump over the warp pipe and keep on going for 2 seconds, as opposed to the 10 it takes to double check that stuff in it just bothers me. It's irritating.
Right.
I'm thinking because of how even more staggered Splatoon 2 content is, I think they might be waiting close to the holidays for maybe a big DLC push.
It's all going to be free. I don't think...
At that point, again, then you have to ask why release it in July then when it clearly needed a few more months then.
Well...
Because it's all free.
Yeah, the thing... Okay, so the thing is that Splatoon 1 also had a big update around, like, August, I believe. The game came out in June, and the update was in August, and we got a lot of new content. There was the 2 new weapon types, the Splashers and the Splatlings. There was, I believe, a couple of new stages, a new ranked battle mode. There was a lot of new content there, and we knew that update was coming even before the game came out. In this game, we don't know what they're doing. Like, we've got hints, but they didn't say, like... There's this big update coming. They never said that at any point. I want that squid ring.
Onion ring, onion ring, onion ring.
I was
I'm so angry.
I was considering restarting for it, but no.
No. You see, you guys have way more patience than I do. I was such a fucking perfectionist that I probably would have reset by now.
Like, I was considering it.
Onion ring, onion ring, onion ring.
Yeah, so these are the dualies. When the game first launched, these were the only new weapon types. And I mean, they're cool, like, I guess. Like, you can dash around like a moron, which I suppose is fun. My issue with them is that, due to the way that I like to play Splatoon, I like to jump and shoot a lot. Like, I like to shoot and then jump so that I can... Okay, there we go. Yeah, nobody saw that.
Who could forget that jerk, Mr. Krabs? Sorry.
Yeah, so you...
Do you know what I wish they did with the dualies, though?
What's that?
If you were playing in, like, handheld mode or using the Joy-Con separately, dual wield mode.
That would be awesome, though. Actually, now that you're thinking about it, I want that. Because most of the time, they're basically just a standard splatter shot. Like, they're not even...
Yeah, just walk in like Neo from the Matrix in that building scene where he just pulls both pistols out and just starts shooting them all over the place.
Yeah, it's like... Because most of the time, like, you can only aim both of them in front of you. And then, like, you can do the dash roll. And what that does is you will aim your guns at the same spot. And so you'll have, like, more power. But all things considered, it's really not that different. Especially in the single player. Well, I mean, it is just a better weapon for the single player because you don't have to upgrade the Dualies in order for them to be good. So, you know, that just makes them better for the most part. But, like, yeah, you can do cool flips and shit, but that's not always going to be the most helpful.
It's also partially a platformer, so not being able to jump is kind of weird.
Yeah.
They'll jump while shooting.
Yeah, jump while shooting. That's part of why I can't use Dualies, is that I jump while shooting so much in Splatoon. Like, not necessarily to kill people, because when you jump in Splatoon, your accuracy goes down. So it's not really great for trying to kill people, but it's great for when you're trying to ink turf. So, like, I got into the habit of doing it, and the fact that you can't... Well, okay, I should state that you can jump and shoot with the Dualies, but only if you're standing perfectly still. So, yeah, that's annoying. So... It's just one of those things where I would have to completely readjust my playstyle if I wanted to be a dually main, which I don't really see the need to because there are other automatic weapons that I can choose instead. None of the dualies are different enough aside from that dodge roll that I feel like, okay, I need to try this all the time, every day.
You know you played way too much 3D Sonic if you get all the fucking onion rings on your first try on grind rails.
Yeah, oh my gosh, rail switching in Splatoon 2 is so hard. I can't do it. Oh man.
Yeah, it was a piece of shit.
No, it's... Okay, it was... I know... It's not that hard! You press the button, and the control stick...
No, it's easy to understand whether or not it works as an entirely
I've
different thing.
never had an issue with it working, ever. Maybe it's because I played Sky Rail like 50 million times growing up.
I find it
Why'd you play
I think
Skyrim 50 million
I
times?
find it works fine in Adventure 2 for the most part. It's Heroes where it gets clunky.
No, Heroes is just not a good game. So, you know. Oh, did I say that? No, I didn't say that. Nope.
The only stage that never gave me a problem with grind rails was Final Rush.
No.
And everywhere else, I just, nah.
Well, now that we're completely on a Sonic tangent, suddenly Lewis and Garrett appear.
Oh, well, you see, now I can
complete.
be the YouTube commenter and just say that there's nothing wrong with the game. You just need to get good, John. How dare you...
Okay, but you see, unlike you, I will gladly tell that person to fuck off.
No, you see, whenever I do
Fuck
tell
off.
people to fuck off, apparently I'm not respecting my fans, which is...
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, like, apparently...
You will respect my authority.
Fucking Sonic, man.
He said with a cigarette in his mouth.